Hello, this is Thomas, K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos. Today I'm out at the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm just off the parkway, as you can see, so you're going to hear some car traffic and that sort of thing. And I'm about to do an activation, I hope, this should be pretty fun. Number one, I am, for the first time in a while, using my Elecraft KX1. This is one of my favorite radios ever. In fact, it's probably my favorite radio ever. I love this radio, and unfortunately, it had an issue, and it's been in the shop for a couple weeks. My friend Vlado, N3CZ, repaired it. Turned out it was a faulty encoder. It was kind of problematic to find the cause because it was an intermittent problem. Those are always the toughest to find. Turned out it was just a faulty encoder. And fortunately, the parts at Elecraft, like the spare encoders, are like less than $5 each, I think. So they're very affordable. Vlado, by the way, if you ever want something repaired, he's your guy. He has a website called hamradio.repair, and you can go check it out. And if you've got repairs, he can fix anything. Vlado's a really dear friend of mine. So I guess that should be a disclaimer, but I'm here to tell you, if you talk to any of his customers, he's just the very best, and he did a fantastic job. And now I've got this little radio back on the air, and I thought today I'd do a video. That's also another really cool thing about today is I may have mentioned, in fact I know I mentioned in a previous video, that this year I've challenged myself every single month in the year 2022. I am building a new antenna each month, and hopefully pretty much different style antennas to deploy and use in the field. And today I have this antenna, which is very different than anything else I've ever done before. So the design is an end-fed half-wave. This came as a kit from K6ARK. If you're not familiar with Adam, K6ARK, he has an awesome YouTube channel, and he's kind of a specialist almost in sort of super compact field kits. And so he made this super compact end-fed half-wave. It has no counterpoise. In fact, you plug it directly into your radio, and I've never done anything like this before, so here we go. I can say that the kit build itself, I didn't take a single photo during this kit build. I had my phone sitting there to take photos, and I didn't do it. It's a very simple kit. These are super affordable. They're around $25, maybe less. I can't remember. You can buy them on Amazon. I'll try to include a link. If not in the description below, I'll have a link to my field report, and that will definitely have a link to Adam's antenna. And it's a kit. It's not a beginner's kit, maybe, just because the parts are so tiny. The little circuit board is smaller than the diameter of a dime. It is really wee, and it's got a little small toroid that you wind. And like I said, this one has no counterpoise, and I have never had a counterpoise-less end-fed half-wave. And so I built this probably in an hour, maybe. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of what I call a gross motor skills kit builder. So this was a challenge for me. There's actually a little surface mount capacitor that I needed to put on. I'm not terribly good with surface mount, but hey, one capacitor, not too bad. It's easy to put together. And but it's just a lot of, it's just a tight space to do your soldering and stuff. So that's about it. It's a little finicky, but it'll work. And it's a very affordable kit. Didn't come with any of the wire other than just these stubs. And yes, I'm looking forward to putting it on the air today. Now, having never used a counterpoise-less end-fed half-wave, I don't know how this is going to go. It took me a while to trim and tune this antenna, actually. I found that it's ground hungry. I mean, it wants some kind of path to the ground, and that's not a surprise. Most end-fed half-waves, the reason why I carry, like a 10 to 20 foot feed line with me is because it uses the shield of the feed line as a counterpoise, and so it's a part of the antenna system. Today, just in case I can't get things to work correctly, I did bring a little small counterpoise that I can hook to the screw on the bottom of one of the screws on the bottom of the KX1 and probably give it the ground path it wants. But I'm hoping it'll just work without it, because when I did my SWR tests with it at home, I was able to get a 1.3 to 1 without the counterpoise. Now, of course, having a counterpoise will make this a more efficient antenna, but when you're doing park activations and summit activations, you may not necessarily need that efficiency, and at these really low wattages we're talking about here, it's, you know, there's no fear, I don't think, of anything harming your radio or anything like that. And I would check out Adam's site. He has way more information about it, is way more knowledgeable about antennas than I am. But Adam, this is a really cool kit. I like it. I really like this. I hope this will work out really well with the KX1 today. I used the KX1 too, not just because I just got it back from Vlado, but it also has an internal ATU, so I can probably work on any kind of mismatch that's there. I found that as I touched the radio, it had a positive impact on the SWR, and that's because I was providing a ground path for the radio, or for the antenna. So we'll see how this goes, because I'm also going to try to use my KX1 paddles. This is probably the weak point in the whole KX1 system, is that some people find these a little finicky to use, but I've had pretty good luck with this set, actually, and that doesn't change today. But they actually have a rubber coating on them, like a little rubber sort of thing that goes over the top here, this like cap that goes over, and I'm pretty sure that it'll insulate my hands from the metal part of the radio. So I don't know what that'll do to the SWR, but we'll find out. And like I said, I've got a counterpoise if I need it. Anyway, I'm gonna get this stuff set up, stop talking, and get going here. Okay, I'm back now. The wind has really picked up. We have a front moving through, and that front is pushing some pretty serious wind gusts right now, and I'm here on top of a little hill, so we'll see how this works out. It's not particularly cold right now, but it's just chilly, but the wind is wind's up there. So I may end up turning down some of the volume of my audio from my camera to focus more on the audio coming from the radio, depending on how bad this wind noise is afterwards. So you may not hear a whole lot of commentary from me if that's the case. Anyway, as I put the radio on the air, I was testing 40 meters and 20. Both of them are resonant, which is great. So I was getting 1.2 here on 20 meters, which is where I am right now. And I'll start calling CQ in a second. But I went on 40 and it defaulted to 63, which is normally where I like to operate on 40 meters. And I picked up my buddy Eric, WD8RIF, who's at a park himself. So I've got that in there. I'm going to try to double log using my phone here on the side, but it is difficult to do this, I will admit, when I'm holding everything on my knees in my lap here. I don't like being distracted by doing logging in two places, but we'll see how this goes. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll go ahead and get started. So I'm happy. Ground-wise, I didn't need anything else. It's working really well. Getting a 1.2. So let's go ahead and start calling CQ. Let me go into my menu here and tell it to do play so I can use my built-in... There we go. Okay, so... There we go. Hopefully you can hear that okay. Make sure I've got this set to 20 meters. I do. Good. Whoops, wrong thing. Sorry for the awkward pause. I have to get used to this. Here we go. That's not too bad, too, so far. My buddy Mike tells me conditions are really bad right now, actually, so I may end up moving to 30 or 40 meters or something. By the way, the 40 meter, this is a 40 meter in-fed half wave, so of course it's resonant on 40, 20, and I think 15. I don't know if I've tested 15 on this one, though. It was a little quiet today. Of course, this is President's Day today, and 3:03 in the afternoon. Not exactly prime time for POTA, but and I'm only operating about 2.5 watts. Now I do have a getting about 13.2 volts from my 12 volt lithium iron phosphate battery down here. Well, I can tell you, it's so much easier to hear the bands when I'm using earphones, which is what I've been doing lately, instead of using the speaker on radios. Well, this one doesn't have a speaker, so I've got to use my earphones. It is very quiet today. To me, this radio is just, it's just QRP perfection. And you have an RF gain, an AF gain, and a variable filter width. And .44 is what people in the WWFF program send, which is a really nice little salutation. I like that. Okay, so we got 4 here. You know, this is really steady on this rubber mat. I love this radio. Okay, so my radio's name's Ruby. The KX1, if you hear me call it Ruby, that's why. So what was I saying? Yeah, so if you hear me call this radio Ruby, that's why. All of my radios that I know are long-term keepers have names. My field radios, at least. I like this call sign, AWG. We may move down to the 40 meter band here in just a second. I could hit 30 meters with this, by the way, because I've got the ATU, and I'm betting that the ATU would tune this. But the moment... Actually, I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 contacts. Not bad. Especially considering I didn't get this one on video, to be honest. It was just, the reason why is because I didn't have my audio recorder playing at the time, or recording. I was monitoring. I'm texting my buddies here real quick. He either said Maine or Michigan. I would think Michigan with an 8 call, but I swear I heard a did. I'll have to check that later. I mean, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, for the POTA site, but hey. Yay, I've got 10 now. So anything else beyond this is just icing on the cake. Oh my goodness, there's some people in it. Yay, got him. Wow, that was Prince Edward Island. That was a nice surprise. I got John, got Prince Edward Island, got VY2. When I get a Canadian call, it'll probably be a VY2. I think this is the first time I've gotten a VY2 call in Parks on the Air. I got a VY2 once or twice, I think, in National Parks on the Air in that program, but not in POTA. You know, I'm probably not going to move to 40 because I'm looking at the time. I've run out of that time. I need to be done here by 3:30. It's 3:20 right now in the afternoon, and frankly, by the time I pack up, it'll be a little bit after that. So I'll make a few more CQ calls, and that's it. If I go to 40, I could pick up more people for sure. But you know what we'll do before we finish, though? Let's see if this will tune up on 30 meters with the built-in ATU in the KX1. You know what? This reminds me I need to take a photo. I like to get my photos in for my posts. Always check my posts on QRP.com. That's where I actually put the bulk of my information. Mike was right, though. Conditions are kind of bad today. You heard how... Well, so the VY2 station, I'm not surprised that was a little on the quiet side. Okay, now let's move to the 30 meter band. This radio, by the way, has 4 bands. It has 80, 40, 30, and 20. Let's go up to the 30 meter band. Now, it is not resonant on 30, which means I have to go in here to the menu and pick out, whoops, let's see here. I pick out ATU and re-engage the ATU, because right now it's not. Now I've got it on tune. And let's see if I can tune this guy. I'm getting 6, 3, no, reflected power is really high. It can't do it. Nope, it can't do it. That's okay. That's okay. So the tuner in the KX1 is much more simple than the one in the KX2. I bet you the KX2 could probably tune this, because I've definitely tuned in fed half waves. But this has something else going kind of against it, is that it doesn't have a counterpoise. That may make it a little more challenging. But it's really important to note, if you do happen to have a KX1 and you're using a resonant antenna on it, you actually have to go in here and tell it to turn off the ATU completely by putting it in calibration, or CAL. I don't know if that stands for calibration or what, but that turns off disengages and bypasses the ATU, because you don't want that engaged at all on a resonant antenna on this radio. So yeah. I've got it in bypass mode now again. I'm very pleased with this. I love this radio. Like I can show you if I go here to like 740 meters and just tune around. The audio on this radio sounds fantastic. It'll open up really wide with this little filter. It's a simple little filter, but it's variable. It has RF gain, so if you've got a lot of noise, you can turn it down. And what's also really clever about this is you can use these knobs even with gloves on. It just has everything you need and nothing else. It's a spectacular little design. I really, really wish that Elecraft would make this same thing, possibly even smaller, and call it like a KX1.5. I don't know. But I really, really love this radio. And it is my favorite radio I own, I'm pretty sure, because I love my KX2 as well. I love my TX500. I love the IC705 and the FT817ND. I mean, there are a lot of radios I love. I love my Mission RG01 that's at the house most of the time. That thing is fantastic. But for field work, there's just some kind of just elegant simplicity about this radio that it just gets the job done. It's got the bands that I want. If I could have a choice, yeah, I wouldn't mind having 17 meters on this as well for doing summit stuff, but 20 meters gets the job done almost every time. And it has 80 meters. And from home, I can actually participate in rag chews with my buddies if I want to, which I've done in the past with this radio. But thank you, Vlado. I know Vlado doesn't really watch my videos. I don't think he has time to. He's such a busy guy, but golly, it's just so nice having Ruby back. And another really cool thing about the KX1 is it has a logging lamp. Can you see that? It has a built-in lamp. What radios have that? So I have actually been, this is not recently, but I've been using this kind of later at night, and I can turn on the little logging lamp and I can see my my sheet here. It's just enough LED light to see that. It does have internal batteries, which work pretty well, but to be honest, the internal batteries in this, it needs like those advanced lithium batteries, which are non-rechargeable, to really get the most out of it. I put in rechargeable batteries. I put in Panasonic Inteloops, and so they already start with the voltage pretty low. I may only get like 1.5 watts out or something. One day I will try to do an entire activation off of the internal batteries just to see if I can do it. But there's just not a lot of room in there to put anything else. Maybe a lipo pack or something, I'm not sure, but there's not a whole lot of room in this case for it. The case is kind of divided up into two sections, and the two sections are just big enough for a little pack of 3 AA batteries, and that's pretty much it. So anyway, enough talking. I need to get this stuff packed up and get on the road. It is almost it is almost 3:30, which is when I really need to be leaving, so I need to pack this up. Anyway, thank you all so much again for coming along with me. This was so much fun using the KX1. Again, you're going to see a lot more of the KX1 out in the field. And if you get a chance this week, try to go out and play some radio outdoors. If not, chase some radio operators that would really appreciate it. If you're ever in the mountains of North Carolina, stop by the Blue Ridge Parkway. There are about 100,000 places here that you could set up and play POTA and do a little soda just right off the parkway as well. Anyway, like I always say, treat others with kindness, because hey, this is the only planet we live on, so we need to get along. And if you see someone who needs a little help in the radio, offer to be an Elmer for them. These days where people aren't getting out quite as much, it's really important to be able to offer someone a little helping hand if they've got questions about getting out in the field for the first time or operating CW. They may just want someone that they can talk to and chat with online, or over the air, excuse me, chat with over the air, and CW maybe at slow speeds, and it's a really good thing if you can help them get that practice. Anyway, as always, thank you so much, and until next time, 7 3s.